If you're someone who doesn't have the patience for slow, drawn-out news cycles, and you find yourself constantly bombarded with information, but still want to stay informed about the world around you without getting bogged down in the details, then you're in the right place. So, buckle up and let's fly through the week's biggest headlines, covering the essential stories that shaped our world. Get ready for the rapid-fire breakdown. We're about to deliver the news you need, fast and efficiently. In the heart of Texas, a fierce political battle is unfolding. Texas Democrats are engaged in a heated clash over redistricting, taking the extraordinary step of breaking quorum in an attempt to block what they see as Republican gerrymandering efforts. The move signifies a deep divide and escalating tensions within the state's political landscape, raising questions about the future of fair representation and voting rights in the Lone Star State. The stakes are incredibly high, with the potential to reshape the political map for years to come. In a dramatic move that has brought the legislative process to a standstill, Democratic lawmakers fled the state, leaving the legislature without the necessary number of members present to conduct official business. The empty chamber serves as a stark visual representation of the political impasse, highlighting the lengths to which both parties are willing to go to defend their positions. This absence effectively halts any legislative action on the contested redistricting plans, throwing the state's political future into uncertainty. The vacant seats echo the voices of the constituents who are now left without representation as this battle plays out. At the heart of this contentious dispute lies a set of newly proposed voting maps. These maps are not just lines on paper. They represent a fundamental reshaping of Texas politics, with the potential to solidify Republican dominance for the next decade. The intricate details of each district, carefully drawn and debated, could determine which communities have a voice and which are marginalized. The colors of red and blue, representing the two major parties, clash vividly on these maps, symbolizing the intense struggle for political power and control over the state's future. The proposed changes have ignited a firestorm of controversy, drawing passionate reactions from all sides. Voting rights activists are vehemently protesting what they perceive as a blatant attempt at voter suppression, arguing that the new maps will disproportionately disenfranchise minority communities and limit access to the ballot box. They see this as a direct attack on the fundamental principles of democracy and are determined to fight for fair and equal representation for all Texans. On the other side of the aisle, Republicans are demanding that the absent Democrats return to work and fulfill their legislative duties, accusing them of abandoning their responsibilities and obstructing the democratic process. This political standoff in Texas is more than just a local dispute. It highlights a much larger national battle that is raging across the country over voting access and fair representation. The fight for the right to vote, a cornerstone of American democracy, is under intense scrutiny, with both parties vying for control over the rules and regulations that govern elections. The outcome of this struggle will have far-reaching consequences for the future of American politics, determining who has a voice in shaping the nation's policies and direction. The Texas flag serves as a backdrop to this drama, a symbol of the state's unique identity and its role in this national conversation. Turning our attention to the Middle East, a dire situation is unfolding in Gaza. Desperate residents are grappling with a rapidly worsening humanitarian catastrophe, as basic supplies dwindle to critically low levels. The once vibrant city is now scarred by conflict, with damaged buildings and rubble serving as constant reminders of the ongoing crisis. The lack of essential resources is pushing the population to the brink, creating a desperate struggle for survival. Hunger is spreading like wildfire throughout Gaza, as aid deliveries become increasingly dangerous and woefully insufficient to meet the overwhelming needs of the population. Long lines of people waiting for food aid have become a common sight, their faces etched with worry and desperation. Empty bowls symbolize the emptiness in their stomachs and the uncertainty about where their next meal will come from. The lack of adequate food supplies is exacerbating an already dire situation, pushing families to the brink of starvation. The crisis in Gaza has reached such a critical point that even burial shrouds, a basic necessity for honoring the dead, are in short supply. This heartbreaking reality underscores the sheer scale of the suffering and the profound impact of the conflict on every aspect of life. Overwhelmed hospital corridors paint a grim picture of the healthcare system struggling to cope with the influx of patients and the scarcity of medical supplies. The shortage of even the most basic necessities highlights the severity of the humanitarian crisis, and the urgent need for international assistance. International aid organizations are working tirelessly to alleviate the suffering in Gaza, but they face immense challenges in reaching those in need. Ongoing security concerns and logistical hurdles make it difficult to deliver aid safely and efficiently. Despite their best efforts, the scale of the crisis far exceeds the capacity of these organizations, leaving many people without access to essential supplies and services. UN vehicles serve as a symbol of international efforts to provide assistance, but they are often hampered by the complexities of the conflict. The human cost of the conflict in Gaza continues to mount, with civilians bearing the brunt of the violence and deprivation. Children and families are particularly vulnerable, facing unimaginable trauma and hardship. The emotional impact of the crisis is profound, leaving lasting scars on the mental and emotional well-being of those who have experienced loss, displacement, and fear. The prolonged conflict has created a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions, requiring a sustained and comprehensive response to address the immediate needs and long-term recovery of the affected population. Shifting gears to a global environmental crisis, a shocking new report has revealed the staggering extent of the plastics crisis, estimating its cost at a $15 trillion burden threatening human health worldwide. The sheer volume of plastic waste polluting our planet is overwhelming, with aerial shots revealing massive garbage patches floating in the oceans. This crisis is not just an environmental issue, it is a direct threat to human health and well-being, with far-reaching consequences for generations to come. The insidious nature of the plastics crisis is further highlighted by the pervasive presence of microplastics. These tiny particles, invisible to the naked eye, now contaminate virtually everything from our food supply to the very air we breathe and even our bloodstream. Microscopic views reveal the alarming presence of these particles in various environments, while lab analysis confirms their widespread distribution. The long-term health effects of microplastic exposure are still largely unknown, but scientists are increasingly concerned about their potential to disrupt bodily functions and cause chronic diseases. The plastics crisis affects human health across the entire lifespan, from infancy to old age, with no demographic spared from its potential harms. Industrial plastic manufacturing continues to churn out vast quantities of new plastic, exacerbating the problem and overwhelming our capacity to manage the waste. Conveyor belts and smokestacks symbolize the relentless production of plastic, highlighting the need for a fundamental shift in our consumption patterns and manufacturing processes. Mounting scientific evidence is linking plastic exposure to a range of serious health problems including cancer, reproductive issues, and developmental problems in children. Doctors are increasingly encountering patients with conditions that may be related to plastic exposure, prompting further research and investigation. Health studies are underway to assess the long-term health effects of plastic exposure, while research imagery reveals the complex mechanisms by which plastics can disrupt biological processes. In response to the growing crisis, environmental groups are demanding immediate and decisive action to address what they are calling a planetary emergency. Activists are organizing cleanups, advocating for policy changes, and raising awareness about the dangers of plastic pollution. Recycling operations are struggling to keep up with the sheer volume of plastic waste, highlighting the need for more effective recycling technologies and a reduction in plastic consumption. The call for action is growing louder, as people around the world recognize the urgent need to protect our planet and our health from the devastating effects of plastic pollution. In a tense moment over the skies of New Jersey, fighter jets were scrambled after an aircraft violated restricted airspace near former President Trump's Bedminster property. The incident triggered a swift and decisive response from military authorities, underscoring the importance of maintaining secure airspace around sensitive locations. The sight of fighter jets in formation against the blue sky served as a powerful reminder of the constant vigilance required to protect national security. The security breach, however brief, triggered immediate military response protocols, designed to protect high-profile individuals and sensitive locations from potential threats. The aerial view of the golf course and property reveals the visible security perimeter in place, but also highlights the challenges of maintaining absolute security in a complex environment. The incident serves as a reminder of the constant need for vigilance and the importance of having robust security measures in place. Air traffic controllers played a crucial role in coordinating the rapid deployment of interceptor aircraft, ensuring a swift and effective response to the airspace violation. Their expertise and vigilance are essential for maintaining the safety and security of our skies. Radar screens provide a constant stream of information, allowing controllers to track aircraft movements and identify potential threats. The incident serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing security concerns surrounding high-profile political figures and their properties. Military personnel are constantly monitoring screens and conducting security operations to protect against potential threats. The need for robust security measures is paramount, given the potential for individuals or groups to target these individuals or locations. In Tennessee, a massive manhunt is currently underway, following a shocking crime spree that has left multiple victims in its wake. The series of violent incidents has sent shockwaves through the community, prompting a large-scale response from law enforcement agencies. Police cars with flashing lights and other emergency vehicles are a common sight as the search intensifies. Law enforcement agencies are coordinating their efforts across multiple counties in a desperate attempt to locate and apprehend the suspect. Crime scene tape marks the locations where the violent acts occurred, while forensic investigators meticulously gather evidence. Police officers are working tirelessly to track down leads and bring the perpetrator to justice. In response to the ongoing manhunt, local universities have issued safety alerts to students and staff, urging them to remain vigilant and take precautions. The presence of security personnel has been increased on campus, and students are being advised to avoid walking alone at night. The alerts serve as a reminder of the potential dangers and the importance of staying informed and aware of one's surroundings. Authorities are urging residents throughout the affected areas to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to law enforcement. The police chief and other officials are addressing the public, providing updates on the investigation and reassuring the community that everything is being done to apprehend the suspect. The seriousness of the situation is evident in their expressions and demeanor. The community remains on edge as law enforcement works around the clock to apprehend the suspect and bring an end to this terrifying ordeal. Concerned residents are looking out for one another, forming neighborhood watch groups and sharing information. The spirit of community solidarity is evident as people come together to support one another during this difficult time. The hope is that the suspect will be apprehended quickly and that the community can begin to heal and recover from this shocking crime spree. That's your rapid-fire news update, bringing you the headlines you need to know right now. We strive to deliver the most important information in a concise and engaging format. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fast-paced coverage of the stories that matter. Stay tuned for more updates. News Trails updates coming soon. Stay in touch. Have a good day.